Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality of the best hair. And while I was doing the rounds of research for my last review, Moontrap, I found out there just so happened to be a sequel, Moontrap Target Earth, whose production was not as easy as you might think. Director Robert Dyke and screenwriter Tag Ragsdale pitched the idea of a Moontrap 2 way back in 2011 with the idea of crowdfunding a graphic novel that would eventually become a movie. The campaign failed, however, and it wasn't until 2014 that plans to make the movie Moontrap Target Earth came forward. A standalone story rather than a direct sequel, it still wasn't until 2017 that the second Moontrap movie was finally released. Direct-to-DVD, but still directed by Robert Dyke and written by Tax Ragsdale, so you know there are no inconsistencies between this and the original. I mean, if there were, that would be really hard to explain now, wouldn't it? Either way, Moontrap Target Earth tells the story of Scout, who, while studying mysterious archaeological discoveries, uncovers evidence of an ancient, advanced civilization on Earth. Then all her friends die and she goes to the moon where robots fight each other. It's a little more nuanced than that, I guess. I mean, look at the DVD case. One small step for man, one giant battle for a woman. Just kind of makes it sound like this woman is incredibly incompetent, but Anyway, let's take a look at Moontrap Target Earth and see just what we've been waiting for 28 years. Slightly less impressive number than 14,000. We open to the moon! And that, we see spaceships and mostly naked women and moon men and fire before finding out.
Holy crap.
It was all just a dream! Good, we can go forward hoping that the rest of the movie has nothing to do with that. What it apparently does have to do with is presented as bluntly as possible with a presentation.
Who is she? What is the history behind this magnificent sculpture?
My best guess, gave $50 to some poor bastard from DeviantArt. The presenter would be Daniel Allen, played by voice actor of miscellaneous background characters in Halo and Red Dead, and more impressively, producer of Shaq Does Shark Week, Damon Dayoub. He establishes the head is important, and just so happens to be so old it predates written history itself.
Are there any questions? The young lady in the corner, Miss Sharon Christine Turner, I believe?
Scout.
Well, I guess when you hire people that usually play extras to play your leads, you really don't have enough money for too many extras. As she said, this is Scout, played by Sarah Butler. She's part of this educational team of professors who, oh well, even she doesn't care too much to explain it right now. More importantly, she wishes for a lovely dinner date with her husband-fiancé friend over here.
So what do you think?
Sushi.
Okay, my suspension of disbelief is already broken. There's no way she figured out what she wanted to eat that fucking fast. But it's not like there's anyone else in this movie for her to date, except perhaps Daniel's random friend Carter, played by Chris Newman. Seems Carter has some super amazing discovery to share with the world. Later, and can't say what it is.
I'm starting to think that just maybe you don't have that world-changing discovery that's going to finally put you on top.
No. It's for real. Okay, now stop to the top. Don't you doubt that.
Yeah, just look at him, on location, with that same fucking blue filter every indie film seems to think makes their backyard not look like their backyard anymore. So after this call from Carter to remind Daniel that he totally has some super plot-relevant shit going on, but has nothing to share right now, making the entire concept of the call confusing, Danny takes Scout out for dinner, and Carter sticks around the blue ditch waiting for the plot to catch up with him.
Hi.
And a big hi right back at you, Mr. Carter.
Wow. The cinematography is really shit in this movie. Also, this is Richard Contral, played by Charles Shaughnessy, and his assistant Nicole, played by Jennifer Kinser. But seriously, who the hell thought this was a good shot? It's not often that I talk about cinematography in my movie reviews. Most are shot pretty well, so it's not really a point to bring up unless it's shot incredibly good or amazingly bad. This, Carter is, not even really in frame. Nicole is way in the back, and Richard is on the left side of the frame, looking at the left side of the frame, making the entire shot look incredibly cramped when they're supposed to be in a big fucking open area. Oh, yeah, and everything's still fucking blue. was expecting associates or news crews, though, not Richie Rich over here to come down personally for this amazing find, which it looks like they forgot to apply the blue filter on for this shot, but don't worry, it's back as soon as they get close to the thing.
Look at it. Doesn't look brand new. Like it could have been made yesterday.
Does indeed.
Yeah, it looks like it could have been made just yesterday by a middle school art class. Amazing ancient technology, everyone! It's a white fucking PVC pyramid with a single line of symbols carved into it. Jesus. Not only does the surrounding rock suggest this piece is in fact 14,000 years old, but upon examination of the strange object, it seems to vibrate. Not only that, the ground around the thing vibrates as well. Whatever it is certainly something of incredible power!
Do you have any idea what this means?
Oh, damn. Well, that's not another way the producers are trying to save money.
Don't you ever make light of taking human life again!
Dude, it's kind of my shtick.
Your next priority is make sure no one else understands the true nature of this.
Not sure if he's talking to his assistant or the writer. But he knows the truth. Or, well, actually he doesn't, but he sure acts like he knows all the ins and outs of this mysterious humming pyramid of PVC and perfunctory patterns. In the meantime, Scout and Daniel have returned from dinner and a blowjob, ready for the new revised presentation.
Well, a guy will agree to just about anything after a great
Dinner?
dinner.
And yes, that was a blowjob joke. There are a lot of them in this movie. Jokes, not blowjobs. But their presentation suddenly changes to the pyramid! That's because Richard has arrived and has money powers. Don't worry about the fact that this is the find their old friend was working on, and he has suddenly disappeared. From this point on, they act like they've completely forgotten about his existence anyway, and so should you. Richard is more interested in pushing the plot forward, and needs Scout and Danny's help to do it.
What do you want from us?
To help me figure out what the hell this thing is. And what message it's trying to send us from...
Because these two are actually experts at deciphering ancient languages, and that is suddenly very important right now. And as soon as it served its purpose, it will be completely forgotten like their old friend, but movie's trying? With that, they are brought to the backyard in blue, where they see for themselves just what the strange artifact looks like in person. Of course, even Google Translate could have told the guy that one symbol that looks kind of like the artifact suggests it is in fact one small part of a much larger spaceship buried underground. No bother, their assignment is the same. Translate the writing.
What we do is translate the writings of ancient cultures, human cultures, but something from another world.
Not much different.
So are we going Star Trek style, where every alien species is a human wearing latex, or EDF-5, where that gigantic frog with cybernetic implants all over it looks just like humans? The resemblance is uncanny. But she just had to touch it. And fuck if I know what that's supposed to mean. Has nothing to do with the message that's supposedly written on it. I guess ancient civilization's just like fucking with people. Danny Boy checks with her to make sure she's okay, and she says she is, but that doesn't mean that on the way out she can't continue having weird visions. This time of a peculiar, scantily clad space babe, Maya, played by Nikki Spiridakos, who is smoking hot. But it was all just a dream! Or a weird vision which ended with her waking up in bed, even though she wasn't sleeping. And fuck it, I don't know. Well, her day-turned nightmare did result in an epiphany. Scout now knows that the truth is this spaceship is not alien. It is in fact human in origin, from an ancient advanced civilization. Daniel goes along with this even though she offers no evidence to back it up. She doesn't even tell him about the freaky-ass visions. Now, well, one handy-dandy artsy transition later, and the message has been translated. Now, all that's left is for Scout and Daniel to go to Richie Rich's lair to present it. Also, their convenient extra friend, Eli, played by D.B. Dickerson, announces their conveyance.
A really decadent stretch limo.
Does it have crystal glassware?
Even though the filmmakers evidently couldn't actually afford to spring for a limo. Point is, the two of them have been taken to the rich place. Seems there's a cabal of rich-ass people who exist in the background, out of focus, as cheaply as possible, while a voiceover gives their opinions. Now, while these two could have easily sent a message containing the translation, and indeed did, they spring on the club a new translation they didn't mention, digging through the literal meaning of the message that we never hear, to the nuanced, emotional message that the author originally intended. With that, Scout reads it out to the crowd.
This world has been ours for countless millennia, ruled under the benevolent bloodline of a name I can't translate,
Well, we're off to a fucking brilliant start.
but now approach destruction.
Tips to any ancient advanced civilizations out there: you don't have to mention in your writings that your civilization collapsed. We know.
He refused to allow the cosmos to erase all that he has so wonderfully created. He is our Lord God.
He's a who's a what now? First, you have no idea what these names are, and now, God.
My lover,
Jesus fucking Christ.
and through his mighty strength wished to forge a new world, continued destiny for his people.
Whoa, this story is confusing enough without you pulling random transformations on these guys.
He tasked me to complete this vision, and I have failed, unable to return to where he waited.
For no real reason, she just can't. Ship works, he's right the fuck over there at the return point, but she just can't do it. If she did, this movie wouldn't have a plot.
For those who may rise again along this river of time, I have inscribed his name, for eternity to remember.
Well, it's just too fucking bad for name I can't translate back there.
Our Lord God.
Back away slowly.
A love letter.
In a way.
Oh, I thought that awkward pause was actually intentional. With her presentation accepted, the Rich Club makes it clear that their usefulness has ended. Please leave now. No, don't worry about that buried spaceship. We got it from here. Go away.
It would now be appropriate for you to conclude. Jesus.
Still here, Eli. Talk later.
That was supposed to be a ringtone? In a motion picture where sound effect familiarity is extremely important. Scout isn't very happy with being told to leave, though, with so much still to discover. Daniel, however, isn't as invested in this movie's plot, and gets her to agree to leave for now. When they get back, along with extra friend Eli over there, we find out it's because Daniel isn't quite so sure that Scout's heart is in the right place. I mean, really, change the world? Is she that full of herself that she thinks this discovery will change the world? All they found is evidence of an ancient advanced civilization with spaceships who seeded the very concept of divinity into humanity in the first place. Realizing, oh yeah, that's pretty fucking major, he eventually agrees they should go public. But first, they should go behind the projector screen and have some silhouetted makeout time. But then, there's someone at the door.
Hello, handsome.
No, not Eli! He existed! Somehow Nicole manages to not shoot the obvious silhouettes, and after showing her evil powers of cheap fire effects. Seriously, I don't expect studios to light their actors on fire, but this just looks terrible. We go to Richard over here, in the Money Club's secret science lab near the spaceship. Yeah, they have tons of tools at their disposal, but they just can't get a decent image of what exactly is below the surface.
Zoom in and enhance.
Oh, enhance? Why didn't you say so? This reveals a spaceship! Or an electric Venus razor. They also figure the best way to keep their mobile lab secret is by disguising it as a food truck. I guess people just don't eat in this universe. As Richard is briefed on the spaceship, the two good guys are nearby, secretly watching him. Instead of, going public like they said they would. Oh, first things first, it seems like this spaceship is getting ready to take off soon. And also they easily spot Daniel watching them on that hill. And yet somehow they managed to not see Scout sitting right next to him in brighter clothes. And hell, even if they didn't see her, I'm still surprised she didn't get hit by a stray bullet as they're blowing her fucking fucking boyfriend to death right next to her. Even with her screaming there, they still don't seem to notice her. was all just a dream. Or not. Again, yeah, she just woke up and has a scene with Daniel about how it's all just a dream, and don't worry. Then she's suddenly on a truck being driven away because she had to hitchhike out of there. They shot Danny to death, after all. However, she still can't go public because now she's a wanted murderer, framed for the murder of Daniel, which is the assumed identity of the charred body of Eli, despite the drastically different body types, and the concept of dental identification. Well, her old life is over, so the waitress at the diner she's staying at takes her order for coffee and turns it into ice cream. Because it's Michigan, and the water's fucked up, and we have to hammer that home.
Look, if they ever clean up this water mess, they're gonna need help here. It's not too shitty once the owner gets the message you're not gonna blow him.
Just like we have to hammer home all these blowjob jokes, we still have quite a few to go, so hang in there. The waitress, played by Kara Ann Marie, listens to Scout's sad, sad tale about how the love of her life is now gone, brutally shot to pieces by a helicopter, and now she's being framed for his murder by arson! Oh well, she has bumper sticker slogans at the ready.
You can't let the bad guys always win.
And you must fulfill your destiny.
Always ringing at the wrong time.
Am I the only one who still, after hearing it multiple times, cannot associate that sound effect with a ringtone?
And I hate that it's always broadcasting your location.
But I do find comfort in the secret key underneath the third stall that leads to a trap door that goes to an underground escape route. I mean, it's the little things in life. Using the handy-dandy diner advice, Scout manages to escape. Now we can see how Richard is doing in Richie Rich's Country Club. It seems like none of this plot makes any fucking sense anymore. He has to destroy this ancient spaceship because the Club of Rich People are super rich and they're in charge of society.
Certainly, you have not forgotten that such knowledge of their existence would undermine our prime means of control.
Okay. Let me get this straight. You guys, Rich Fuck Club, you control society, you exert your power with your wealth, and that allows you to control all aspects of society. But this ancient technology, far beyond anything anyone knows about, will undermine this, even though you control all of it and would own all of it and would have that kind of power over society. The best I can guess is that maybe this would undermine religious belief and they use religion to control society, but that still makes no fucking sense. Which is slightly better than the negative sense it makes to destroy something that you could easily use to control society! Backed into a corner, Richard begrudgingly agrees that he will do as they wish, destroy the spaceship, and cover up any trace it ever existed.
Fuck!
And I think we can all agree Charles is the best actor in this movie and the one that I look most forward to seeing. And it's really great when a movie makes me root for the bad guy. I mean, who else am I supposed to get behind? Scout?
How on earth did you manage to get in here?
Amazing what some guys will do for a major blowjob.
From you? I don't think so.
On the plus side, that is how you know you're getting to the end. The frequency of blowjob jokes just keeps increasing. As such, she tries to stab him, instead of slit his throat like she could have easily done, resulting in Nicole grabbing her and dropping her to her knees. You know, like in a blowjob.
Why must you continuously insist on referencing such an unpleasant subject, Sharon?
Much as the jokes are unpleasant, I don't think that the subject matter itself is really something that I would want to avoid. So they have her there, and Richard was tasked with killing her, but whoopsie, seems he was still on the phone with Secret Lab Food Truck Man. However, it is then revealed that for some reason, the very image of Scout on the phone causes the spaceship to react strangely. Thus, instead of doing as he was tasked, the man simply knocks the bitch out, and then takes her back down to the secret dig site. Which she already knows the location of, so I don't know why the head sack was required. They confirm yet again, yes, the camera feed gets fucked up whenever she's on screen, so best to take her out and see what happens when she's right here next to the ship. I mean, we already did, as she already was, but not like this.
On your knees.
What?
On your knees.
Fucking kidding me.
I never kid, just do it.
For 14,000 years, it waited for a throat sufficiently deep.
Put your hands on the surface. Touch it.
Okay. Now what? What Scout feels is cold. and powerful, which results in Richard going off on a tangent about how all the cold power shall be his, which results in him being sucked into a hole, which then excretes another character onto this movie, a big fucking red robot motherfucker. So Nicole says, fuck it, Scout can deal with it.
Have fun tonight, bitch.
Damn. I think I've finally seen a death on film that really added nothing to the presentation. I mean, even in spectacle, what's the difference between that and her just walking the fuck away? Scout tries to escape, but not that hard, I guess. I mean, she's suddenly unconscious in the robot's arms. No bother, now they can take this ship into space! Dear God, this ugly-ass CGI ship. Okay, I figure this is just another crazy vision from Scout, but can anyone explain to me just why this woman dreams in artsy-fartsy G-string mode? She walks with implied nudity over the moon's surface, dropping to her knees and discovering a space yam, before the background changes to green and blue.
Hey! Hey! You don't want to miss the whole adventure, do you?
Given the option, yes. Scout, on the ship with Richie Rich and Rock'em Sock'em Red, soon finds that there is something in particular the robot demands she do immediately.
Take your clothes off.
What, and get on my knees?
Oh, please, you're not that irresistible.
Okay, unless we're all preparing for her to save the world with an epic blowjob, you could stop now. I mean, she's not gonna do that, right? Save the world with the epic blowjob? She must change into this adequately sexy high-level gear provided, which means she must get completely naked. Ish. I understand not forcing your actress to bare all in front of your camera, but the underwear provided under her undergarments does not match her flesh tone. Kinda sticks out. Still, it's not nearly as bad as the CGI. Does this even qualify, honestly? Technically speaking, yes, it is computer graphics, but sweet holy fuck is it not good. I'm not even sure it's pre-rendered. I see more convincing graphics in Kerbal Space Program. After their little flight, they land, coincidentally enough, by another mysterious stone head.
I've met her twin sister.
Who is she?
Yes, that was the opening. Don't give me a refresher. I'm trying to forget this movie as I go. But near this particular stonehead is the blue Rock'em Sock'em Robot, mortal enemy of the red Rock'em Sock'em Robot. It moves in to destroy it. And no, I have no idea if these are supposed to be Kalium or not. They're both rather similar, but the fact that they aren't tearing machines and people apart to build new ones, and are never referred to as Kalium, and the lack of any and all references to what the fuck happened to the Kalium from the last movie, yeah, they're just blue and red robots on the moon. The real important thing is that the mysterious space yam is procured and Scout is tasked with hopping into one of those ancient Moontrap spacesuits, so there's at least some connection between this movie and the last one.
I have to say, I'm very curious to see what awaits you.
Stop!
And after trying to kill this man and reminding him several times during this trip that killing him is still your #1 priority, let's just save his life for no apparent reason. I mean, it's not like letting him live is going to result in some horrible shit that's going to be very bad for you that could have been easily avoided had you just killed the man. It's just... So, utilizing Doom sound effects to exit the ship, from the top, because the ancient advanced civilization that built this spaceship evidently couldn't be arsed to make things convenient, Scout makes it to the moon. Or the green screen room, and the poorly rendered lunar surface was added later. With her and the robot out of the way, though, Dick takes control, utilizing the motions he learned from observing the robot pilot the craft. He takes off! And is incredibly bad at this. Think about it. He's in space, has 6 degrees of freedom, can steer this thing in any direction, yet somehow fucks up so bad, he ends up turning it right the fuck around, going the one way he could have to wind up crashing into this fucking thing as quickly as possible.
Asshole.
She took that well. Though, I suppose after 2 of your friends are murdered, only one of which you even notice, and the love of your life is shot to death in front of you, which results in you moping for about 5 minutes before you get over it. I mean, who really cares about being trapped in a lunar wasteland with about 20 minutes of 14,000-year-old oxygen to keep you going? Now that the mood has been properly set, the blue bot attacks, and this grand Battle of... Oh, what the fuck am I watching? I can't ham this shit up to try and make it sound badass. Just look at it. Ooh, but that's the real kicker here. The red bot ended up damaging the blue bot. Well, that's $15 down the drain. Also, we're supposed to believe that that was a real knockdown, drag-out fight, as the red robot is now dying? Whatever it is, it's powering down and must entrust Scout with the Space Yam. She knows this mysterious artifact just so happens to be the same shape as the hole in Statue Babe's head, so, slapping it into place, this results in a secret underground structure rising up, flashing CGI all over the moon, instantly terraforming the world, once barren and gray, into a welcoming, blue-skied, brown, barren wasteland. Oh, now you realize you're fucked? Ship crashes down and you got less than an hour to live. Blue sky and you fucking stranded on this moon and now you're going to survive for a couple of days or maybe a couple of weeks if you can at least find a source of water? Oh, now it's a problem. That reaction is especially confusing when you consider that terraforming structure she just raised out of the ground. Well, it has a fucking door on it which he has yet to explore. Doing so, we find the real truth about the history of the human race and lunar travel. Inside this building is Garen, our Lord God. I don't know. Suspended, waiting for the return of Maya. Seems the human race was created by old space crystal thing, but no one knows where the old space crystal came from. Also, the stars foretold the destruction of their civilization. No why or how, but they said so Garen waited here while Maya worked on getting a new home for humanity. And failed. Again, for no specific reason. But then...
So I have selected you to fulfill my destiny.
Okay, real quick. What? I mean, your civilization was ending because... So you went to Earth to something something, and you couldn't something something. So 14,000 years later, you somehow managed to pick Scout to do the something something which wasn't on Earth. What she had to do was go back to the moon and jam the yam in the head. Am I getting this right? But before she can... whatever it is she's doing...
On your knees.
Sharon.
Another blowjob joke! Is that how she's gonna defeat the robot? Just siphon the fuel out of his tank there? And yes, the bot replaced its damaged face with Richard face, because it can! Kinda like the Kalium did. But this is the only time anything remotely like that happens in this movie, so who really cares at this point? She jabs its eyes out, blinding it! Again, before tricking it to run outside, and then...
Hey! I'll get on my knees.
She really is defeating it with another blowjob joke. Closing the door upon its return, she decapitates the bot. Therefore, happy ending! All her friends are dead, her lover is dead, every minor character is dead, and she's as good as dead, but not yet. She can step outside to get changed into her sexy, nearly naked space babe getup, and head on over to the convenient suspended animation pod next to our Lord God Garen, played by Tariq Salmaki. A fighter, in case you're wondering why he has no lines and his nose is kind of crooked. Now she can wait it out by his side after the moon has been inhabitable long enough for an ecosystem to sprout up all on its own. Which would take a few billion years for plants to appear naturally, and given the time frame, then solar winds should probably have destroyed the atmosphere long before that. It really sucks not having a magnetosphere. Also, there's the looming threat of the sun going supernova during that as well, so... Oh well, anyway, that was Moontrap, Target Earth. Let's just file this under movies that clearly should never have been made. The original Moontrap wasn't the greatest movie, but it had it where it counts. It was an interesting enough story, presented with more than enough heart, despite the shoestring budget, that you could really get invested in the characters. Target Earth? To say it misses that mark is to imply that it was ever aiming for it in the first place. Not being a direct sequel to Moontrap is the least of this film's problems. It pretty much guarantees that big fans of Moontrap who wanted more Moontrap are going to be sorely disappointed, but the story in and of itself is just a mess. Ancient technology from a lost civilization bestows what is indistinguishable from psychic powers, but staggers its power to match the speed of the plot. Old Rich Bastard seeks to control the world, and after getting a hold of this tech, decide it's better to destroy it because to control people through religion is somehow superior to having a monopoly on interplanetary travel. And, of course, ancient civilization was facing destruction, just because, so the moon was to be terraformed, so they went to Earth, because, and failed at something, but now Scout can finish the job by going to the moon, Space Yam. Couple that plot with a very, very amateur acting all around, and you get a movie trying to throw plot in your face that not only is it hard to get invested in, at the end of the day, doesn't even fucking matter. The movie looks like an excuse to get Sarah Butler naked as possible while cramming in as many blowjob jokes as they can. I can imagine plenty better ways to attempt that are not a sequel to Moontrap. Overall, Moontrap Target Earth is still a B-movie in a more modern sense. However, traditional effects like miniatures and puppets are capable of delivering an impressive or cheesy and heartfelt presentation to a B-movie. CGI doesn't have that same charm to it. Hell, even blockbuster movies that use CGI in unconvincing ways get called out for it consistently. How the hell do you think people are going to react to CGI that looks like it could have been rendered on a Sega Dreamcast? Thus, Moontrap Target Earth comes in at a highly disappointing 1 dead friend who is forgotten about seconds later, out of 5. Now, on the one hand, it is very difficult to come up with any movie that fans of Moontrap would look at and say, yeah, that's exactly what I personally was waiting for 30 years. On the other, who in the hell out there would want to watch Target Earth? Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado, and remember, if you're gonna use the blue filter to mask your backyard, remember to apply it on every shot.